What's up, yo, you know it's me, nice, yo, Ralph, hey, precious, mama, what's up, yo, my little mamacita, you know, you gotta remember I got a camera in front of my house, so, you know, everything that I'm speaking about is gonna still manifest, though. China, what's up, China. Part 5 of the Night Grabbers. So, Precious thought about everything, and on their way through the dark blocks, they had met up with the three to two other members of the McKinley family. So while they're making their way through the urban blocks, they got to a point near a place called Flatbush. They said, wait a minute, there's not supposed to be people there. Ralph doesn't even trust the police to be driving cars because he knows physics and martial art blows through time. And then he wouldn't have them or people driving cars knowing that potentially family members could potentially really die and end up really dead. So it wouldn't make no sense for them to drive cars because they could possibly be rapists also. And then they're stars. And certain people don't be raped consistently in the paradigm of time. Because he wouldn't usually make them walk, and if something was wrong, then he would get it. He wouldn't trust them to have such a transmission moving in a sequence that could be beyond deadly to real Asian people of intensity, of even matter. So she looked and seen people driving and said, I don't really trust that people are driving. I don't think Ralph gave them those cars. Who's living over there with Ralph? Because Ralph doesn't even give female cars unless he's really with them in a relationship. He said, do you think somebody at the company of the car companies are giving out cars? Because they would have gave Ralph a car and said that would have been a payout or payoff to the money that they owe Ralph, the taxes and everything they were supposed to pay him to the corporations. And said that's your car, and it just amounted up to a certain thing, and just like, you know, he just do it a certain type of way as even a gift. You know, people working for his corporate, you know, he owns a corporation and the companies. But she thought about that and said, but he's sleeping on a porch. He would have wanted to make moves. This is a real life story. She looked at China and the rest of them, then crossed over and went into like a dark corner, like a lit, but it was like kind of not like a dark corner, but it had like a light, but it was dim. And then they stood there and said, yo, listen, we gotta really make sure Ralph is okay and then watch him until he really to go out of town. Because people are not supposed to be driving those cars, and there's not supposed to really be people around Ralph. So she thought about it and said, yeah, you know, let's go make sure he's okay. Let's go laugh and joke with him. But first, let's not make any noise or startle anybody. Or startle Ralph. You know, fuck everybody else. But startle Ralph. Let's just make sure nobody's in the houses around him. Because there might be some hoe bitches or chicks with kids for other people. And he has his own social, or his children got their own social. So you don't want to jump around and do certain things. Let's just make sure he's by himself, that nobody's really in those houses over there. Because I'm quite sure he doesn't want to sleep outside. And I'm quite sure, you know, some of them scumbag White Boy Police, and I heard that Ralph disconnected from the Milky Way, and he is the dad of the Milky Way. But she only said this to China. She didn't say this to the rest of the McKinleys. She said he is the dad of the Milky Way, and he did disconnect from the Milky Way because he had called Demon and them, and he made some machata jank. So he don't want people, girls like playing dress up, and they almost ended Japan before, and certain other things, and then he went on social recovery after he done cleaned that. He might be tired, and he's still the paradigm of time. So since he disconnected from the Milky Way, and he is the real dad and the reason of the Milky Way, let's go make sure that certain people are not around him in the house, because you can't have two urban people or zodiac stars around him, because these are the years of the element. It wouldn't make sense, because he wouldn't be living with people that's like food, because those are people that'll be lying to other people and just trying to live off him, or people that just causing, making him feel like he shouldn't care about life, and he has to care about life. So he has to, people are supposed to watch him during his education. So let's go make sure he's really okay, that he's alive. And then, because that scene sleeping out there was kind of harsh, and he's supposed to be a person that really has it, and he can't be around Hera and them, because I did, China said, yeah, I did see it. She was over there, and that girl Beatrice, that girl Beatrice is a user, and then she's the type of person. China told her the truth. While Ralph was on social recovery, he used to live off for like $5 from 1993 all the way to 2010, until they started giving him $10 a day, and he's a billion trillionaire. And that's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That could have made a person go psychotic. And he had a brain injury, a skull injury, and also a heart injury. That's people that's giving them. That would be people that was just around and giving them wrong pressure, because some people has to be okay to really be around a person to know the reasons of life. So you wouldn't want those type of people being around Ralph, and then they have kids and then lying and then causing like psychotic, and then Asian people could end up dying because it'd be like rapes, and then they're already probably gonna try to fuck up the Chang family. So let's go make sure, because fucked up girls as hoes, or girls with kids that broke their oath, claiming to be family. That's not family. Be a family wouldn't do something like that. And China said the truth. Yeah, he was living like that. And then if he would have sold drugs, but how about if he would have took coke or cooked crack in the kitchen for a long amount of time? Those are people that didn't care about him until force or something like that. He did get hurt, and he used to work for the DEA educating them. Those would be pieces of shit kids and other pieces of shit people around him, if they ever even was around him to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to cause them and asking them about things like that. So she said, yo, let's go make sure, because that might be a star. There might be stars that's not supposed to be around him in a sequence, that's secretly just trying to murder Chinese, Korean, Japanese, or even Shaolin, or ninjas, or other things. Hold, hold on, there's some holes in the car. Hold on. So China said the truth. Yeah, Hara's the real Dontor, and then she tried to murder Jet and them also back in the days. Before he even got to go to school, to go to, I had to learn about Shaolin. And a chick that already been through primitive times and never wanted certain things is just a secret plan to accomplish certain things. So let's go make sure Ralph is alive, and then Ralph got his own soul. He should go to another social. He shouldn't stay out here, because you would have to stop the tactical rapists also. Them girls are hoes. They really don't care about stuff like that. Wait to the sequence. So she says, yeah, you're right. Let's go check the houses to make sure. That means they probably have foul that's probably grew up in the houses. You gotta make sure you're ready for this.